What's good, Eagles fans? This is your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Listen, you guys, I've been thinking about Jordan Howard a lot lately, man. And I got to be honest, we need that man for this home stretch. We need it. We need him. The running game hasn't really been the same without him. I understand that Miles Sanders does his thing. I know that Boston Scott brings something to the table. Kenny Gainwell brings something to the table. Jalen Hurts is the X factor in the running game. I get all that. But we can't ignore the fact that Jordan Howard has been the bruiser. Jordan Howard has dictated the pace. He's been the one leading this team in yards per carry, I believe. Right now, since he's been playing this season, he's averaging over 5 yards a carry. Put up 274 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Granted, he did miss a game, but the bottom line is what Jordan Howard brings to the team to the team can't be replicated, and you can't mask it. He allows this team to really pound the rock in between the guards, in between the tackles. Miles Sanders is more so that running back. He likes to bounce outside. He likes the zone run scheme. Boston Scott, he's not afraid to mix it up in the middle either. And Kenny Gainwell, he's not afraid to either. But Kenny Gainwell and Miles Sanders specifically are more so better suited in that zone run scheme, alike with Boston Scott. Jordan Howard is the only running back we have that can legitimately pound the rock in between the tackles, in between the guards, in the A gap, the B gap, so on and so forth. On top of that, like I said about the Washington football team, the Washington football team is allowing running backs to average 4 yards a carry on them. A guy like Jordan Howard is the type of running back you have to wear down the opposing defense. We need to continue to play physical football. This is the kind of football that Philadelphia is bred on. You think about everything in our past. We've always been an extremely physical team, and I feel like this organization is so hell bent on being like the Chiefs or the Chargers, and they're just so hell bent on finesse. And sometimes you have to play likened to what your roster dictates. Your roster is a very physical roster. You have the best offensive line in football. It's going to be so important for Nick Sirianni to try to get Jordan Howard involved if Jordan Howard is healthy enough to play. Right now, he's questionable and he was limited in practice today. But Jordan Howard, my brother, I don't think you realize. No, as a matter of fact, I bet you do realize. I'm pretty sure you're well aware that once you got into the game, the running game just took a turn for the better. Granted, Miles Sanders wasn't really getting the touches that he should have been getting, but what Jordan Howard brings is something that Miles Sanders just doesn't have, and that's that physicality. I'm not saying Miles Sanders is afraid of contact, but Jordan Howard's ability to just always go north south. He doesn't play around in the backfield. He doesn't dance. He's not patient. He waits for things to develop a little bit, but when he sees it, he goes. He doesn't waste any time. So that's the kind of running back we need. And I honestly always preferred power backs, bruiser backs more so than elusive backs. I know that's the way of the NFL is trending more towards, running backs that can do multiple things, like, being elusive and the scat back, catching the ball at the backfield, so on and so forth. And I understand that Jordan Howard is considered to be a dinosaur in this present NFL, but you're never, ever, ever you should never want to get too fancy. You should never be so caught up on finesse to the point where you don't understand the basic fundamentals of football. And that's my guys versus your guys. That's if you can run the rock and if you can dominate time of possession and you can force turnovers and not allow yourself to create your own turnovers, then at that point, that's the fundamentals of football. You can beat anybody. I've seen plenty of teams throw for 300-400 yards and they still lose the game, and they couldn't do nothing on the ground. But I've seen plenty of teams dominate the ground game, and they win more times than not, especially when they're not turning the ball over. So we need Jordan Howard for this final 4-game stretch. Even if Jalen Hurts isn't the quarterback, we need a guy like Jordan Howard in there dictating the pace in the running game. And that just gives us so much more versatility and allows us to open up the playbook that much more in the running game. Because at the end of the day, when you're wearing guys down with your physicality, at the end of the day, somebody gonna get tired and somebody gonna want to give in. And at this point in the season, we need to make teams tap out. We're the number one rushing team in the NFL. We have the number one offense when it comes to running the ball. We need to continue to force teams to tap out because not many teams, believe it or not, can take that beating. What did Marshawn Lynch say? You gotta run through a motherfucking face until he can't take it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that simple for me. And that's what Jordan Howard brings to the table. We can't bullshit. We can't play around with this. You know, especially if we're trying to make a playoff run, we can't waste time. We can't play with our food. Like, guys can't take that beating over and over and over and over and over and over again. Run through a motherfucking face, you ain't got to worry about it no more. And we need Jordan Howard. My brother, get healthy. We got a big 4-game stretch coming up, and we need you, my man. And it was straight like that. I'm your humble host, Tony DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge us to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And fly Eagles fly.